And we are underway in the 5th Mayor's Cup game. RPI in their road reds, Union in their home whites with garnet sleeves. It has moved ahead by Spencer Fu, knocked away at the RPI blue line. Spins right back into the zone after a poke check off the stick of Liljegren. Fu back on it, trying to dump it in. Liljegren fights back to win it back. He'll throw a cross-ice feed through Nanny and all the way down. And we have an icing coming up just 21 seconds in to this one.
Victor Liljegren throwing a nice hit on the sideboards right in front of the RPI bench, and that's another thing that RPI's got to do more of is be physical. They don't have a lot of big bodies, especially graduating a few of them, and Victor Liljegren's definitely got to step up to that, as well as Jared Wilson.
Alex Sakeleropoulos in net for Union. Chase Perry for RPI. DeSimone to the far point. Off the offensive zone face-off win, they work it around all the way to the near corner. Cole Meyer takes a hit. Backhanded along by DeSimone, forced out, but not out of the zone by Whiffen. Right back down low it goes. Alternate captain Parker Reno behind his own net for Jared Wilson. Still leads the country in goals now with 9. Wilson, by a defenseman as it's chopped right back to center. Bouncing puck in front of the Union bench. Big hit on Riley Bourbonnais, and it pops right back into the Union zone where it's corralled there by Matt Krug, senior from South Buffalo, New York. He'll shoot it right to the RPI line. Stolen away, man breaking. Melanson trying to find him. Bourbonnais couldn't corral, but they're back in 2-on-2. Melanson holding top of the circle. Waits for the trailing defender. Walking in, Meyer. A shot off the crossbar by Moore. Picked up by Prapavesis. He'll work it down low for DeVito. On further. Bourbonnais backhand shot in the right pad. Saved by Sakeleropoulos. Wrapped around to the near point by Scarfo. Thrown towards goal by Prapavesis. Now cleared off the glass to center. Poked away by Prapavesis. Off from Mearsmore. Nearly gave RPI the lead moments ago. He hit the crossbar. He stung one off the bar from the top of the far circle. Union trying to clear their own zone. Luke Brown, he gets roughed up along the wall, or make it Ryan Burton rather. Flipped out to center. Jake Morello shielding. He'll drop it back for Charlie Manley. Making just his 12th appearance for the Engineers. Has 1 assist on the year, back after a rather extended injury, but he's out there here for the Mayor's Cup. Shot around by Sakeleropoulos to the near boards. Engineers with all the pressure early. Skip back to center. Manley on it. He'll use an indirect off the far wall. Wood sweeps it in. That's Jake Wood, senior from Georgetown, Ontario. Alex Rodriguez nearly lined up his man behind the goal. That was Coleus. Now another hit against the near boards by Wood, but up comes Dufour. Wrist shot, glove saved by Perry into the far corner. Dufour, the first one to it for Union. He gets bumped from behind by Wood, knocked down. Picked up by Parker Reno behind the goal. He'll try the near side for Rodriguez. Fed right back to the Union blue line, where it's corralled there by Jeff Taylor, senior from Clifton Park, and draft choice of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Greg Campbell, sophomore from Oakville, Ontario, off for Taylor. He tries to navigate the neutral zone. He'll cross center and ring it in. Wraps around to the far corner. Tap to the circle, picked up Whiffen. Another hit by Wilson. Engineers the more physical team early. Knocked away at center. Here's Vecchione. 41 points for he and Spencer Fu. They're tied for the nation's lead. Taylor off the far boards, knocked down there by Lou Nanny, junior from Edina, Minnesota. In the middle circle, it's picked up and chipped in by Brady Whiffen. RPI will get a partial change. Not quite 3 minutes into the first period, no score. Spencer Fu can't corral that one. It's out to center. Moore D-to-D in the neutral zone. Gets it back from Prapavesis. Mearsmore, sophomore from Duluth, trying to tip it into the zone. Nanny, the puck didn't go anywhere. It's corralled there by Campbell. Shot right back to him. Vecchione drops it across for Taylor. And he'll slow things down in his zone near side for Campbell. Now back for Taylor. Center of his own zone. He'll move to the neutral ice area. Still Taylor on the carry. Into the RPI zone now near side. All the way in Taylor. Looking to center. Knocked away by Prapavesis. Picked up there by Brown. And now the pass leaves the zone all the way back to their own end. And a pretty quiet crowd. Bigger than you might expect here on a Thursday night in the Capital Region, but still growing as Taylor will shoot it down the middle of the ice. Played by Cole Meyer, poked into the zone far side by Brown. It'll be played on further. Mearsmore picks it up in the corner. Stolen away there. More on the backhand, or make it Meyer rather. Can't get the shot away as he's tied up. Play moves all the way to the near wall. Meyer, Prapavesis, they go into it in the corner. And now it'll be swept away by Meyer again. Back to the point. Here's Krug. Makes a fake, takes a shot up high, and a glove save by Perry, and finally a whistle. 15:55 on the clock in the first, no score.
Union's second shot on goal was something that Perry had to track down. It was probably going to go high if he didn't glove that one, but I'd say that both teams are having trouble connecting with passes and making clean plays. The difference is that Union's having trouble in their own end, and RPI's having trouble in the neutral zone. And that would bode well for the Engineers if they could just find a little bit more.
Wilson hooked a bit on his way towards the puck. He'll knock it down. Is in his equipment, flips it out to center. Chance for a 2-on-1. Bourbonnais trying to settle a high puck. No high stick. Walking in. Bourbonnais save. Rebound fired wide. Sakelaropoulos made the save, but the rebound popped right to Riley Bourbonnais. He couldn't steer it home. He missed the net. Bourbonnais back to the neutral ice now. Throws it far side. Too far for everyone to handle. Ben Newhouse, the freshman from Edina, Minnesota. Lots of Edina natives out there. As it's scooped along into the RPI zone. No, swatted back to center by DeVito. Played on further by Bourbonnais. Collius being pressured by DeVito. DeVito nearly stole it away. Fast Collius behind his own goal. Wraps around to the far side. Dufour does battle with Bourbonnais towards the point. Helped to center by Zachary Amelifone. Now glove down at neutral ice. This should be a hand pass. No. Picked up by Morello. He'll backhand it into the Union end. Back to pick it up, Greg Campbell. 6 assists on the year in 19 games for the sophomore for Union. Near side, Amelifone. Good connection to center. Into the attacking zone, Ryan Walker. His shot easily sticked away by Perry. To the near corner they go. As roughed up over there, Mark Dufour, sophomore from Winthrop, Maine. Behind the RPI goal it goes, swept around towards the far point. Campbell can't keep it in. Backing up to the neutral zone, he'll try the far boards. Turning with it there was Vidmar. Now he'll carry along, play it too far for the defenseman Taylor, who had no intentions of entering the RPI zone there. Now flip to the far side, neutral ice. Wood on for Rodriguez, tipped into the zone. Race for the puck. Taylor's going to be the first one to it. Slaps it far side for Campbell. Campbell up the far boards. Spencer Fu with Vecchione, and now Vidmar into the zone. Drop pass Fu in the slot. Pulls it back, takes the shot, and a save by Perry. Rebound, a stop, and Vecchione is denied as well. 2 saves there, and the top 2 scorers in the country by Perry. Back to neutral ice goes the puck. Snapped across to Fu. He'll carry it near side. Spencer Fu on the move. He gets bumped and knocked down by a pair of engineers. Flipped off the glass, glove down by Liljegren. He'll skate it to center. Union making a change. Flipped into the zone on the backhand. Victor Liljegren, the junior from Stockholm, Sweden, goes hard into the corner and goes down. Played around by Meyer. It comes down off the dasher in the far corner. Chopping at it over there was Luke Brown. Engineers keep it in. Shot around to the near point. Parker Reno there. He'll try to sweep it in right onto the tape of Krug, and he'll skate it to center. Krug along the near boards into the legs of Reno. Loose in the slot. It's knocked away by Wilson, who comes to the rescue there as Reno couldn't clear it out. Now a shot by Krug is blocked, just trying to keep it in. To the near corner they go. Meyer and Reno duel. Off the boards, it's Liljegren on for Hayhurst. He has some room to work far side. Hayhurst. Tipsy-do through the legs of DeSimone, and he fires it wide into the near corner. Now it's back out to center. 2-on-2 for Union. Cole Meyer, he'll sweep it in and go off on a change. Far side, Manley. He can't corral. Flipped in deep by the backhand of Ryan Burton, the freshman from Thunder Bay. Long stretch pass, hits a body and goes into the Union zone. Corralled there by Collius. He'll skate back behind his own goal. No penalties here early. Just 7 minutes in. Poked away, but Scarfo jumps back on it. Ryan Scarfo on the move now far side. Into the RPI zone, drops it back. A wrist shot goes way wide. Caroms around to the near point. DeVito can't get it out, but Riley can. Long pass there, far side for Polino. He'll get there, takes his man down, and a penalty coming up here. As he might not have been trying to do that, but it looked from everywhere in the rink like Polino just grabbed Collius and dragged him down.
Yeah, he tried to use his free arm to get leverage around Krug. And Polino, being a smaller, but not by much, body, both of them went down awkwardly, but it was definitely Polino the aggressor there. Both teams having their best scoring chances earlier in this frame just a few minutes ago. That was Fu and Vecchione 1-2, and Perry made a couple of decent stops. It's interesting how those two find seams in the offensive zone to crash the net. And that's something that Vecchione seemingly harmlessly on that play found an empty puck.
Defensive zone face-off, winning a big one for RPI Engineers. Penalty kill hovering right around 80%. Union power play very strong this year as it's worked out to center. Union's power play at 17.4. Not as good as I had imagined, but the top line you have to worry about is 2 special teamers. Here's Fu at the point. Nearly poked away by Wood, who lost his stick. Given away to Whiffen. He'll shoot it down. Whiffen with a shorthanded goal on the season. Came against Harvard last Friday. One of RPI's 4 shorties on the season. Riley Bourbonnais has 2, but it seems like it's been forever since he got one. As Union will skate it up ice, Jeff Taylor drops it back. Here's Sebastian Vidmar from Malmo, Sweden, into the RPI zone, into the slot, pops in the air, but the Engineers can't clear. Fu, top of the far circle, drops it off. Back up top for Taylor. Far side, Vecchione. Down low, Vidmar trying to snap a one-time pass, broken up there by Moore and Prapavesis. Work back to the point, but it's intercepted. Engineers maybe want to skate here. Short-handed they come. It's Melanson to the offensive zone. Melanson walking in. Drop pass, a shot. An easy stick stop was headed way wide anyway. Now the Engineers have to get back. Here comes Vidmar, 2-on-1 with Fu. Vidmar in. Shot and a save by Perry. Rebound loose in the slot, and it's picked up by DeVito, who clears it off a body and out of the zone. 11-12 to go in the first period. No score, RPI and Union. From the Times Union Center, 30 seconds to go on the Polino holding call. Scarfo through the neutral zone, carries far side. Swatted away from him by Wilson, kept in at the point. DeSimone, near point, Coleus, holding to the up the wall, gets it back there from Luke Brown. Far point, DeSimone. To the goal line extended, far side for Walker. The second group out there now for Union. DeSimone, backdoor pass, could not be handled by Brown. He'll take the shot anyway, and it's kicked away by Perry. Wrapped around to the far point, kept in Coleus. 5 seconds to go in the power play. DeSimone a slapper, stick save by Perry, who saw that well. Back towards the point, intercepted by Nanny, out of the box, Polino. They try to find him on the far side. Polino into the zone, watched there by Coleus. Waiting for a trailer, fires it through the top of the crease. It's picked up by Riley. Will Riley drives the net. Poked away from him nicely by Meyer. Played towards the near boards. Now Polino again. He'll skate it towards the net. He'll try the wraparound try, and a save by Sakelaropoulos. Easy stop there, he read that well. To center and dumped in by Union. Stopped there by Perry in the trapezoid, which is legal here in college hockey, not for the home standing home team here, the Albany Devils. Shot to the near point. Can't get it out of the zone. Yes, they can. Touched by Meyer. We get a whistle halfway through the first period. No score, RPI and Union.
It seems like a whole period's been played already with that penalty and the back and forth and a couple of shorthanded chances for the Engineers coming out of their transition. And perhaps if you're watching or hearing Perry describe that power play, just one or so backdoor plays and not really a good chance. It's not surprising that Union is 33rd in the nation with their power play running at 17%. They're a little bit better in the ECAC, but they seem to have trouble getting the puck to the net, and credit RPI for blocking lanes and having the stick on the back door there covering that play. But on that last rush, that was Lou Nanny failing to crash the net and drive hard to that crease, whereas Polino threw that puck across the goal mouth, and Sakelaropoulos just let it happen. Had Lou Nanny been 3 strides closer to the net, he might have had a scoring chance. But he seemed hesitant to get in that hard area, and it just wonders if Coach Appert's going to have a talk with him about that.
Neutral zone face-off, won by Union. They'll sweep it in. Bit of a media timeout there, so a little extra time for Jeff to let us know what's going on or why and how. Shot around by Sakelaropoulos to the near boards, all the way out to center. Past Prapavesis, they wave off the icing. Mears Moore will have to go pick it up with Scarfo on his tail. Moore uses the net as a screen, trying to get away from Scarfo still, and all the way to the red line. Moore will just dump it in. Puck deadens a bit in the near corner, played around behind by Taylor, past a sprawling Jesper Orval, the junior from Halmstad, Sweden, lost an edge behind the Union net. Taylor back to center. RPI regathers on the back check there. It'll be played by Nanny. Tipped along. Here's Victor Liljegren. He picked up a goal, turned into his goal against Dartmouth. There's a wrist shot through, looking for a deflection from Whiffen, didn't get it, and it's all the way out to center. Parker Reno there. Across for Wilson. He'll shoot it into the near corner on the cross-ice dump in. Trying to clear it out near side was Krug, couldn't do it. Back to the point. Reno, a slap shot. That one's blocked by Vecchione. And now Fu chipping to center for Vidmar. He's with DeSimone. Union making a partial change here, so not too interested in this attack, although they will jump on the attack here as it's played by Meyer just off the bench behind the RPI net. Jared Wilson, junior from Calgary, Alberta, back behind for Reno. The alternate captain, I should say, Reno senior. The 2 C's are worn by DeVito and Bourbonnais for RPI. Wilson down the middle, just kind of hammered one to nobody. This will be icing on the Engineers. 8:26 on the clock, first period. Shot 7-3 Union still. No goals of yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Wilson was thinking there. Probably misreading an offensive play in the neutral zone. Not sure he wanted a face-off considering Union's done well in that department, whereas RPI has struggled.
Shot right off the aforementioned draw, and Perry has to make a quick save.
And, that's what they're worried about. If they're going to make plays like that result in icings, and Union gets a goal right off that draw, that's something that they're going to harp on and lose confidence in.
One back to the point. That one trickled through. It came off from the top of the circle, rather, from Sapinski. But it skipped wide of Perry. Engineers gather far side of their own zone. Chipped off the boards, broken up there. To the RPI blue line. Wilson hammers it across for Bourbonnais, and this will go all the way down. No icing this time. This like Bourbonnais got a touch. Wrapped to the near half wall. Brown had it for a moment, skips it past Melanson, and there's a tie-up. The puck moves to center. Brown trying to get by Manley. The last time Charlie Manley played in the game, the Engineers won 2-0 at Arizona State. This one skips in on goals. The Kelleropoulos has to smother it up with Melanson crashing while the faceoff coming in the Union zone. 7:48 on the clock in a scoreless first period.
Yeah, going back that deep in the season, and I know Coach Apper doesn't want to do that, but RPI's 2-8 in their last 10, and Union's 8-2-1 in their last 11. So
they're having a solid portion of their season. Here's a shot, skips it on goal. Kelleropoulos had to make a save. Now a wraparound try by Rodriguez, still loose in the slot area. Seems like everybody's there. Finally skated out by Coleus. He wants to move on to the attack. Fed across, and offside is the whistle. He was trying to find Dufour all the way through, or Zach Ameliphone. Neither of them could connect, but again, the play offside.
Yeah, when you have a defenseman bringing it up out of a rush, sometimes that happens. Holding it all the way across the blue line, not trying to do anything spectacular, but RPI had a chance 150 feet before that. Jake Wood missed an opportunity in the slot.
Moved up the boards, Mears Moore trying to work his way into the zone. He's taken down by DeSimone. We'll say the pucks that we play on. Coleus up the near boards, too far for Burton. Orval back checking there on Rinaldi. Scoot back out to center. Polino can't find. Flied into the air to the RPI zone. Scarfo trying to walk around more. Ryan Scarfo to the net, trying to drive it out in front. Where's the puck? It's left at the side of the cage. Prapavesis, the junior defenseman, clears to the far boards. Orval tried to walk out to center with it, but it was bottled up nicely by DeSimone, and now we get a whistle and an offside call. Officials tonight, Joe Curasone and Peter Fiola, linesman Matt Brady, and the man who made that call, Adam Wood.
Great play by DeSimone, right at the blue line. He goes down on his knees, trying to block that play, trying to block that chip off the boards from Orval, and if Orval gets that off the glass, he's off on maybe a breakaway, but DeSimone was up to the task there.
Here's Parker Reno off the neutral zone face-off win, tipped all the way down the ice. No icing, they say Taylor touched it, and now Colburn far side. Or make it to Campbell, rather. Colburn, a blast from the past. Sorry to bring him up. Vecchione, near side boards. Taylor feeding it right out in front. He had Fu, but he couldn't find him. Chipped off the glass and out to center. This one will skip all the way down and be icing, despite the best efforts of Lou Nanny, who slams into the end boards after realizing he has to skate all the way back down 200 feet and stand there for a face-off.
Yeah, it's a close call, Lou Nanny trying to cancel that. He had the acceleration. That's not what the refs are looking for. They're only looking for their position at the time of the dots.
Face off to the left of Perry. It'll be won by Vecchione cleanly back towards the point. Wrist shot coming. That was blocked by Whiffen. And now Parker Reno behind his own goal. 2 assists for Reno against Harvard, doubling his total on the season to 4. Now Wilson down the middle of the ice trying to find Liljegren, hit him in the leg. Now he tries to do battle with Coleus. And now Fu claims a loose puck in the neutral zone. He'll skate it in. Wrist shot coming. Blocker saved by Perry to the near side circle. Poked free by Vecchione. DeVito trying to win it back. Who can find it? It's going to be Manley who eventually does. On for Liljegren. Liljegren chips it off the near boards after crossing center. It'll be tracked down there by Newhouse. Ben Newhouse with it. 1 assist so far in 12 games for the Dutchman. His brief career to this point. Back to the neutral zone, RPI line. Manley goes D-to-D in his own end for Riley. Fed far side, tipped into the zone by DeVito. High off the glass, it caroms behind the Union goal. Coleus trying to sweep it away from Bourbonnais. Up the far boards, kicked at but stolen away. Tripped up was DeVito. Power play coming up for the Engineers, as it was good effort there in the offensive zone to force the turnover. And DeVito, they'll say, was tripped.
Yeah, Sapinski looks like he's going. It was a light trip. DeVito has a tendency to have his legs move faster than his body sometimes, and maybe he can't keep up, and maybe that's looked like what that was. But in any case, it's going to be a power play for the Engineers, and they're running slightly better than RPI, believe it or not, at 18
Union, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably better than Union at 18%.
18.9. RPI is doing a pretty solid job on the man advantage. It is wrapped around to the near corner. Here's Hayhurst. Back up top. A one-timer. Riley skips on goal. Rebound swatted at by Bourbonnais. That was a bit of a prayer there. Trying to sweep that one in out of the air. It'd be a Sidney Crosby-looking play. Now it's shot in by Hayhurst. Sorry, Jeff. Played behind to the corner for Liljegren. Bourbonnais behind the net. Knocked away from him by Fu. He'll try to clear near side. Right to Riley at the near point. Far point now. Prapaves is walking in. Pulls it back. Takes a wrister, and he just missed the net. Caroms around to the near point where it's kept in by Will Riley. 7 assists for him in his rookie campaign. Back to Riley again up top. Wrist shot coming. Liljegren looking for the rebound. Loose in the circle. It's poked away. Will it be kept in by Riley? Yes, it will. Far side Reno, or make it Liljegren rather. Around to the near point where it's gathered by Hayhurst. Tight box here for Union. They're not really pressuring the points. Bourbonnais up top. Thought about a shot. Riley eventually takes it. It was blocked by Fu. Halfway through the power play. Picked up by Riley. Tipped on goal. Rebound trying to find its Hayhurst in the near circle. More possession in the offensive zone for RPI. Far point Prapaves. Thought about a slapper. Pulls it back. Near side Hayhurst. One time fanned on it. Might have broken his stick. No. He holds on. He just kind of mishit it. Now turning and shooting. He scores! Riley Bourbonnais from the top of the near circle. The drought is over for Bourbonnais. It's a power play tally. His team winning 10th of the year. And it's 1-0 Engineers.
Oh, there's something about Union and Riley Bourbonnais, isn't there? Just 2 goals last time these two teams played together at Union. He's got something about him when he comes around the net. He just finds that shot. What a shot. Almost piping in. And Sakelaropoulos was hugging that near side post, and that went far side piping in. What a shot by Riley Bourbonnais. Just corralled a loose puck, seemingly that tight box you mentioned, Perry, hurting Union as they collapsed and gave Bourbonnais too much time and space on that shot. Just a straight wrister beats Sakelaropoulos.
Riley Bourbonnais, a hat trick against Union back a couple years ago when the Engineers swept the Dutchmen. They were number 2 in the country, I believe, at the time. As it shot all the way down, we get a whistle here. RPI actually an odd stat, but the Engineers are now 3-1 in their last 4 games against the number 2 team in the country. 2 games against Union that sweep. They then lost to BU the same year, 5-1, but then they beat Harvard last Friday. So a weird stat for you, but Engineers on the board here, 1-0.
Yeah, and it's just interesting that Riley Bourbonnais, going silent for the majority of the previous games that the Engineers have played, and he hasn't really been much of a factor, and then he comes around and turns it on like he did the last time these 2 teams played.
And here as well, he does have a Mayor's Cup goal, does Bourbonnais in his career, as it's kicked at by Wood. Shot around to the far side corner, Melanson trying to find it there. Good news for RPI scoring first. I'll tell you about that in a moment, as it's played out to center by the Dutchman who shoot it in. Mearsmore trying to pick it up behind his own goal. He's bumped there behind the cage by Anthony Rinaldi. Engineers carrying now to center ice. Drew Melanson on the move. Off for Wood. Lost it on the stick handle at the far boards. Stolen away by Scarfo. And now near side Ryan Burton. He'll feed it ahead. Tied up was Rinaldi. The 4 Engineers you'd have to get through as Union was changing behind him. Tipped into the zone by Jake Morello, looking for his first collegiate point. Works behind the net with it. Stolen away by Coleus. Takes a whack there from Rodriguez. Good outlet pass. Here they come into the zone. Walking in Dufour. He gets stood up in the top of the circle by Wilson, and the RPI fans come to their feet. Rodriguez trying to clear it out to center. He's bottled up there by Coleus. Eventually muscles it towards center ice. Comes up high on Walker. Stolen away by a Melophone. He'll carry far side into the offensive end. He also looking for his first collegiate point. A Melophone playing in his 10th game for the Dutchman. Behind the net, Dufour looking for the wraparound. Turns. Feeds it back to the point, DeSimone. Shoulder fake towards the net. It skips wide of the cage. A Melophone far side wrapped up by Reno. 2:50 to go in the first period. 1-0 RPI despite being outshot 10-8. They do have a power play goal, which looked fantastic. I don't think the puck ever left the zone while the Engineers were on that man advantage. Cleared to center ice. Rodriguez. Or make it Paulino rather. Just backhands it in deep. RPI wants to get a change. Behind the goal. It'll be played by Dufour. 1 assist on the season for the sophomore. Does have 3 collegiate goals in 24 games for Union. Tipped into the zone by Brown. Back to pick it up more. He'll wrap it around far side Bourbonnais. That puck just leaves the zone. It's pinned against the wall, however, by Sapinski. Now Bourbonnais steals it away. Back for Mearsmore. Near side wall, Prapavesis. Trying to play through the neutral zone and all the way down. This shouldn't be icing as DeVito beats it out. Picks it up behind the goal. Trying to center. It's broken up nicely by Taylor. Pretty easy to read that play. Shot up the far boards out to center by Sapinski. Turned right back around by the Engineers, but Melanson will backhand it in. And we get a whistle here. I'm not sure what for, maybe offside. 1:55 on the clock here in the first period. 1-0 RPI on Riley Bourbonnet's 10th of the year.
Yeah, Bourbonnet didn't really leave the zone on that Melanson entrance. And the offside was called. Interesting. Nothing new really for, not to put a damper on the RPI fans, but there's nothing new here with Union letting the other team score first. They've done it 17 times out of their 23 games and somehow managed to still be 9th in the country. So
it's not the case for the Engineers, who are 1-15-1 when they don't score first. Tie up in the Union end. Good play by Liljegren. As it's swept back into the Union zone. And now gathered again by the Dutchman. Played up the far boards. Shot back in by Wilson from center ice. Gathered there by Fu. To the near boards now. Carried to center, Campbell. Shooting it far side. Vecchione trying to beat Wilson to it. Wilson tries to throw it off the far boards. Poked to center there by Nanny. Engineers maybe chance to break here. Lou Nanny carries in. Near side, top of the circle, drop pass Moore. Wrist shot coming. Saves the Coloropoulos. Where is it? It's between his pads, and for now, not in the net. As now there's a big old pile up next to the Union goals. The Coloropoulos looked like he made a save. Then he scrambled to look between his legs to see where the puck was. And the referee in good position behind the net never pointed at it. So we're going to assume he's right in saying that one never crossed the line.
yeah, we're not sure, of course, with our views, but if he does elect, I'm sure they have an overhead that they will look at.
Right.
But I don't think they're even going to get to that point. So pretty sure of that call was the ref.
Yeah.
Unsure was Sakelaropoulos.
No.
Doing the old 360.
Squeeze the pads and spin around. Face-off win. Shot by Polino over the top. That puck didn't sit for him. Just missed high and wide left. Back out to center. Shot in by Moore. It'll be stopped behind the net by Sakelaropoulos. Penalty coming up here. It's going to go on RPI. I thought they had the puck. No. And so we will get a whistle. I missed the whistle. So roughing is the call. And with 52.9 left, it will be RPI going back on the power play. As Ryan Scarfo has questions for the official, but he will be in the box.
Yeah, contact to the head they gave Scarfo for that one, the neutral zone altercation. Going back to Mears Moore there, for being a small character and not playing a lot of minutes, or I should say not a lot of games, and lately he has been, and he deserves to be because he's got a great shot. As he found the crossbar earlier in this period, and made Sakelaropoulos guess himself on his last shot.
Yep, they're showing a replay of the penalty on the board. Looks clear to me. Now we got a penalty coming up on Bourbonnet, so nix that. Just 5 seconds into the man advantage. We're going to play 4-on-4. Bourbonnet doesn't agree, but RPI's second power play, very short-lived.
Cross-checking on Bourbonnet, they say. And he's not too happy. Trying to tell the linesman to look up at the replay. That's exactly what I was doing when they called that against Bourbonnet on the elbow by Scarfo, was really what it could have been called. Definitely contacted Mears Moore's head there. And here we get another look at it. And yes, he did keep two hands on that stick as it extended horizontal, so Bourbonnet rightly goes to the box. Third period, probably not called.
4-on-4 here for almost the full 2 minutes. Will carry over to the second. DeSimone flings it to the far corner. Parker Reno, the first one to it. Vecchione and Fu out there for Union. Have to be careful. It's a backhander over the top. Just as I see that by Spencer Fu off a feed from Vecchione. Don't be so accurate. Shot in by the Dutchman's Taylor. Picked up by Wilson. 28 to go in the first period. 1-0 RPI leads. Another cross-ice pass from Wilson to no one in particular. Gathered by the Dutchman Taylor. Far side of his own zone now. He'll skate it through center. A dynamic group out there for the Dutchman. Fu in, far side, trying to walk around Wilson. He'll skate around the net with it. Towards the near side corner, half wall, knocked away by Polino. Reno trying to force it out to center. And now gloved down by Polino with 4 to go in the period. Walking in Polino, fed to Nanny with one, a backhand shot, and that probably would not have counted, but it was a good effort from the two. Polino finding Nanny just off the bench. His backhand try was kept out by Sakelaropoulos anyway.
I'm thinking maybe that backhand shot might register. Whether it crosses the line, I don't know. If it pad wasn't there, of course. But Vecchione and Fu connecting. There was daylight there as you called that play. Fu racing across the slot. Vecchione finds him on a blind backhand pass, and Fu with a backhand roofing it over the crossbar. easily could have tied this game as Chase Perry wasn't ready for that one.